What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the Bougie Black Girls YouTube channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Jana, and we are back today with another little mini vlog slash home decor video. So I know that a lot of the conversation that we have been having on this page and just across the internet in general has been about prices going up everywhere, about tariffs really making things more expensive, and that's definitely something that has been at the top of my mind for the past several weeks. But I also was really committed to making sure this year that my house felt more like home. So I am a little bit more encouraged to stay home and spend a little bit less money out in the streets. I am actually going to be hosting a little dinner party for a couple of my friends tomorrow night. And I want to just add a couple of things to my home to make it a little bit more comfortable and welcoming for them. So I thought I would show you guys what I got for $100 at Ross this weekend, and also how I am doing a little bit of spring cleaning in my house to really get it set up and nice and comfy for hosting. So if that sounds interesting to you, definitely give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and let's dive in. So shout out to anybody who has ever dealt with any sort of housing insecurity or just moved around a lot, because you understand the struggle it is to feel compelled and okay to invest in your space and decorate your space. And I think that's something that I have been struggling with over the past couple of years. I've lived in this apartment for about 3.5 years now, and I think just because I went through a period where I moved around so much as a teen, it just kind of feels odd to me to decorate a space if I don't have a definitive amount of time that I know I'm going to be in that space. And so I still kind of don't know how long I'm going to be in this apartment, if I'm going to feel compelled to move, if I'm going to want to stay here long term. But I'm trying to break the habit, break the mindset of telling myself I can't add those personal touches to something that doesn't feel super permanent in my life, and I deserve to be comfortable and to express myself in any space regardless of the duration that I am planning to be there. So in the spirit of all of that, I just spent $100 at Ross, got a couple additional homey touches, and I think it's going to be a nice addition because I have some friends coming over for a little dinner party tomorrow night, which is going to be a lot of fun. So let me show you guys what I got, which was honestly a lot of stuff for only $100. So the first thing I got was 2 paintings that were about $12.99 a pop, and I really love natural hair art, or just art that features Black women. That kind of reminds me of I don't know, a more modern version of the pictures and the paintings that my mom and my grandma used to have in their house. And this just seems like something that my grandmother would have had in her house. It's so pretty and so elegant, and I'm not exactly sure where I'm gonna put it, but I think it kind of fits right in with a lot of the green and the gold accents that I have, especially in my living area. So I am very excited to find a spot for her. Second piece that I got is in a similar style, and so we've got this beautiful fro and this headband, and as you can see, this is a style that I tend to wear often. So again, I feel like it's gonna fit right in. I love the little gold detail on the hoop earrings, and I'm excited to find a spot for this as well. Next, I got this 6-piece bathroom towel set. This is nothing super fancy. It's a dull brown color, and these are gonna go in my half bathroom. Nice decor. These were about $20, which I felt was a little overpriced. Maybe I just don't know how much towels are, but regardless, I needed them, so I decided to suck it up and just invest them, and they are very soft. So I think they will be nice to add to the bathroom. And then pretty much everything else I got is going to be for the kitchen. So we have this 4-piece set of glasses from Soho Loft. And they've got this bubble pattern. I feel these are good in between for both wine glasses and just regular drinking cups. Most of the glasses I have in my house are clear anyway, so I think that these will be lovely in my kitchen cabinet, and I can toss some of the older glasses that are kind of just no longer in the best shape. This set of 4 was $6.99. Some dinner plates for $8.99. These are super simple, white. They say enjoy on the side. These are Ray Dunn, and I know that the girls go crazy for Ray Dunn and Marshalls and Ross and TJ Maxx. So I figured I would just pick up these 4. I thought they were cute, kind of see what the hype was about. And these will be nice for dinner tomorrow. $5 for some new cutting boards. So there's 2 wood ones and a pink plastic one in here. This little wooden plate was $4. I'm gonna put some fruit and cheeses on this for a little pre-dinner snacky snack. new dish towels for the kitchen, some new forks, an ice tray, a serving pitcher for my infused water, and then some stuff for cleaning my dishes. So I will hunt down the receipt in a second and put the total on the screen here, but I think that was not too bad for a few things that I needed and also just a couple of things that I wanted. My goal was to stay under $100, so the fact that I only went over by a little bit, you know, I'll take that. Now we're just gonna move into the kitchen and do a true deep clean. So the sinks, the cabinets, moving the fridge, moving the stove, kind of just getting everything fresh, renewed, and ready to go for me to cook in there and host tomorrow. And then we're also gonna try and do the same thing for my living area, my half bathroom, and if I can get to it between tonight and tomorrow, my patio area. So let's just dive into all of that right now. Right, so we're starting off this little mini spring clean with the kitchen. So for this video, I actually am only going to be tackling the kitchen and the patio because that's all I got to this weekend. But these areas are two that I tend to neglect the most. So with the kitchen, I'm just getting everything removed from my cabinets, as you see here, taking it about one cupboard at a time, moving everything out, tossing any cups, plates, silverware, things like that that are neglected, washing any that need a little bit of TLC, and then wiping everything down before I get everything replaced in an orderly manner. I try to have my more like casual, you know, girly pop cups on one side and then my nice glassware on the other side. I did actually wind up tossing a lot of chipped cups and things like that, so over the next couple of months I'll definitely be restocking. And then we're getting the same thing done with the other side of this cabinet, which is where all of my spices are. So again, removing everything, really giving the shelves a good wipe down, and then giving things a reorganization, and also jotting down a few things on my grocery list that I may need to pick up at a later date. And then we're moving that momentum over to the pantry. The only difference here is that I had a lot more products to look at as far as medicine and sort of my canned items that I like to have for hurricanes or emergency seasons, tossed away all the old food and the expired items, and then also going in with a little bit of bug spray. Thankfully, I don't have any pests in my kitchen, but I'd like to keep it that way. Up next, probably the most daunting task is cleaning those areas that we often neglect, and for me, that is behind my stove and behind my fridge. So working up the courage to actually move these items. It's pretty easy for me because I have an electric stove, and I will not show you guys everything that was back here, but it definitely required for me to sweep, give this a good mopping with some Lysol and some bleach, again spraying back here so I can just avoid any pest in the long term, and then putting back the stove before I eventually go in to clean out the top, the inside of the stove, putting it on like the oven cleaning mode, and then of course cleaning and replacing my drip pans before putting everything back together. Washing all of the new forks and plates, putting them away, and then giving everything a final sweep and mop before getting into the final product. Off camera, I did clean behind my fridge and also cleaned out my refrigerator through the same process, but with the final result, it looked great. It smelled so good in here, and it was definitely ready for the new season. Then it was time to tackle the patio, and admittedly, this is one of the main reasons I moved here, but I'm not out here nearly enough to get my money's worth. So we're changing that first by sorting and tossing all of my craft and painting supplies that I do use when I'm out here. Once all of that was organized, it was time to sweep, and the broom was not in good condition, but thankfully I had a backup. So we're just sweeping away all of the dust and pollen. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but when I tell you there was like yellow gray dust everywhere, I kind of just swept it all out into the corners, trying to get it through those little holes in the screen of my patio. And then I went in with some soapy water that just has some dish soap and a tiny bit of Pine Sol. Thankfully, this was about like 20 minutes for a good rainstorm, so it wasn't gonna disturb my neighbors too much. And I'm just using this push broom and the soapy water all over the concrete to get any remaining dust, pollen, whatever off of the ground, and sort of again pushing it into the corners so it can just be washed away when the rain comes in. I do also have a couple of rugs out here, so I did just give them the same treatment, and because I live in the south and it was so hot, these dried within the hour, so thankfully no reason to worry about like mold or mildew. And I did not get a good shot of this while I was cleaning, but this was the final product, and that's the end of the vlog today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you a little later on this week for the next one.